Greetings, this is Michael W. Ford. I'm doing another video to answer another question, one of many that were very good ones, and this particular one is about Luciferian views, potentially, on the afterlife, and if there are any, and what that might look like. Well, let me state, as a 20-plus year magical practitioner through all kinds of different levels of initiation, experience, and research, study, application, etc., I have come to understand that Luciferianism as a philosophy is imperative on not, at least for me subjectively, from how I present this tradition, as telling you what to believe. I also have to be cautious about how I present it out, in the sense that I'm not suggesting that you follow my particular view. That's a very important thing to understand. Now, concerning Luciferianism and the afterlife, I want you to think about, within our philosophy, building into a magical tradition, there is a that goes parallel with scientific knowledge of energy and how mind directs energy and self-transformation, etc. Now, with that said, what I always suggest for the initiate is focus on what you can do in your terms of transformation, and then experiment with things. If you take, for example, necromancy in Dragon of the Two Flames and Sabeti outlines a methodology, a initiatory practice to honor the ancestral dead, and also seek a type of communication with shades of the dead. Now, this type of practice goes all through Luciferian witchcraft and through various elements, including vampirism in a spiritual sense. So Luciferians have the potential, but must validate any type of spiritual or so-called paranormal experience. What I'll tell you is that the symbolism of the fallen angels, the adversary, and the cipher of the infernal trinity or infernal union is a symbolic and metaphorical representation of knowledge obtained and self-liberation from restrictive beliefs, but also modeling yourself within the guise of Azazel, Lilith, or begetting the beast Chioma, which is a symbol of some traditions of Cain, and Cain is a symbol of the adept, the Luciferian practitioner, but also Baphomet, which is a composite deific mask of energy. Now, Luciferians typically view the concept of heaven and hell to be merely symbolic, and we don't accept Luciferian concepts in that particular way as a monotheistic cult, which it's not. Now, Judeo-Christian morality and the myths applied tell you that you have to accept Jesus Christ or whatever it is and believe in the one God, and you either get a reward for this blind faith and your deeds, or you will be put into a terminal place of continual perpetual suffering. Luciferians don't accept that. Hell is symbolic, but hell comes from a word, an Anglo-Saxon word, which means to heal or to hide, and the hidden. If you take the old concepts of the netherworld in ancient Canaanite or early Judean practices derived from the Canaanites and the Moabites and so forth, you have that hell or Sheol is the underworld, the place of rest, the dark place. The Mesopotamian underworld is a conceptual night side representation of where aspects of the dead continue, the Ekemu or Temu, and the living will offer and propagate offerings of food, drink, etc., in a typical form of ancestor veneration, not necessarily worship, but venerating and honoring the tribe, the family, etc. Greco-Roman concepts of the dead from Tartarus or the underworld, Hades, conceptualize a place where shades like the Mesopotamian exist on. Now, Luciferians recognize all this as first level symbolic. Not saying it doesn't exist in, not necessarily form, it's presented in mytho-poetic concepts, but first it represents the unconscious, the hidden aspects, the primordial, primal instincts, our unconscious mind. So tapping into that with the symbolism of hell and the underworld bring up shades and unconscious primal instincts of your true self. Concerning life after death, you have to consider that many things of your impressions, the energy you build up in life with your conscious mind, including the mundane mind, you know, your likes in certain types of drinks, coffee, liking football, liking whatever it is that might be your thing. Impressions can be made on the environment, potentially, and what I found in paranormal experience is that sometimes there are types of recordings, but the interesting thing to seek to find out is when you have interactions or you have doors open that, you know, in seemingly a new area where doors weren't open, from someone who may have lived there previously or from your magical work, when you have increased so-called paranormal activity you can't rationally explain. A lot of that journey for me has been empowering and insightful, and I always recommend that people seemingly find their own through experimentation. So, you know, I provide philosophical base, magical, initiatory practice, but beyond the mytho-symbolic, that's up to the individual. So knowing how you live now, what you do now, creates that energy, then it's important to, you know, utilize what we call the four hells, actually three hells versus in the unconscious mind. The concept of the underworld or life after death is one that has inspired a lot of my early work, continuing to now. I'm a deeply spiritual person. I'm not an atheist, as many might consider my works to be a representation of. But there is a responsibility within the philosophy of Luciferianism to allow individuals and encourage the strong-minded individuals to seek on their own, use the philosophy, and build their own personal metaphysical structure of initiation, which is very important. I can tell you as someone who has invoked, many times evoked, and the feelings you get during the ceremonies, the spiritual and ecstatic feeling, and when you have things move, fall over, you people see shadows, all of these things, there could be another explanation, but it proves highly charging for someone like me, because I view the concepts of darkness to be empowering, not negative or destructive necessarily. I consider them empowering and part of who we are as individuals. And entering the concept of survival after death, survival of the psyche, On certain levels, I believe that this potentially could be possible. And part of my initiation, which I don't reveal obviously on these things, goes much deeper into a spiritual concept than others might not consider from my philosophical works. If you read Dragon of the Two Flames, if you read Draga, Necrominion, Liber HVHI, to my early traditional rituals of Luciferian witchcraft in the aforementioned title, I think it's pretty clear the concepts that I invoke within myself, and I believe in a predatory sense of devour and grow strong. And if you so-called metaphorically or literally invoke a spirit within the triangle of evocation, and you've got the name of Azazel empowering you, not protecting you, but empowering you, then that is very, very important that you devour, control, command, bring it within yourself. Those are key aspects of the deeper levels of potential Luciferian spirituality. But this has to be truly evolved from within. Once you have these way that you pattern together information and create the inner world, and you give that energy, then many, many things are possible. So that's what I would tell you about life after death. Read parts of Dragon of the Two Flames, specifically on necromancy, and Necrominion, and some of the other works, and apply in your practices. Go to graveyards, EVP, try different forms of divination. Don't allow yourself to fall into the trap of being believing everything that happens, or if you have some kind of mode of communication, allowing that to speak for you. You make your decisions, test and validate your experiences, and it will help transform the strong model of the Luciferian, the torch bringer, the bringer and bearer of light. Thank you.